Hi, boys and girls. Weather report for June 2nd, year of our Lord 2021. Lordy. What's up, guys?
Lord have mercy, right? As they say.
Lordy. Yeah, I got a wonderful thing today.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's called.
We were having a nice little back and forth with Dessel in the
yeah.
We need to save this for the weather report.
What's that? Oh, Dessel
said that there was a nice little back and forth in the live chat before the show, and I said we should save that for the weather report.
Yeah, Dessel has this shit argument about eugenics, and he finally dropped it, and he came up with some better ones. So that's all I really wanted from him.
Told him I destroyed his whole argument with one sentence.
Yep, but you can't remember what it is.
Yeah. I was playing around. That was funny.
Yeah. Anyway, so Leo has not shown up.
Yes, Leo. Where is he?
Leo has not shown up. Anyway, Leo sent me this little thing. I have no idea where it's from. Is this from Twitter? Does this look like Twitter, or does this look like?
This is his community page thing, isn't it?
Oh, is it?
It was on his community page thing, or that? Yeah. Is that what they call that? They're like whatever. I don't know. What do they call these things?
It's on YouTube. It says community up there, the kind of the homepage of every channel, and people can make posts. And I think that was in one of them. Although I didn't see the previous one, the previous if then, so I didn't look that close. I guess it's not there.
Nope.
It's not there. Okay.
Yeah, I saw this. I was on this earlier today because he like posts one of these almost every day. He's always got one.
Well, that can't be Twit.
I mean, maybe he posts at other places too. But it's on. If you go on his community, if you go on Little Peepy's channel and go on this community thing, this is on there, right?
Nope.
This must be a different one. Let me see. Okay. Ultimate Irony.
Let's try Facefuck. How do you spell Facefuck again? Log in or sign up. I don't think I belong to John's Facefuck page. Or, at least I'd never been there. It says to search. Could I search for logical, plausible, and probable?
I think it was on his community post yesterday. I actually posted a comment on it on YouTube.
Yeah.
It wasn't there this morning.
Oh, so this was on his YouTube, but why is it all black and like with a purpley background? I don't know.
I just jumped.
That's
I just went on Little PP's thing and I not seeing it there. But this was a post that he just made, and it was on his YouTube. Maybe he removed it. I got to go back and look again. But hold on a second.
Oh my goodness! I got to send him a friend request and see if he'll friend me. He actually has a Facefuck page, but no, it's not on there either. So I'm not sure where Leo got it. Anyway, okay. So we have this like devastating argument. So my last if-then post. Oh my God, it's spooky. Fuck, you snuck up on me again. I got to pop a nitro. Hang on a second. Okay. So my last if-then post was an informal argument designed to get people thinking about the unavoidable reality that semantic meaning is necessary for us to exist. Well, this triggered multiple atheists to literally argue the semantics' ultimate irony. It also inspired Mindbend 256 to put the concept into a formal argument structure. And here it is, guys. Let's see how they react now. You know, what are these atheists going to do now that he put it into a logical, formal structure? And here it is. The semantic argument and all of its suckiness.
It's time to quit being atheists. We can't handle logic. I
know. Look at this. This is just so formal and now what are we going to do? Because it's formal. So okay. So we have premise one. What? If semantic meaning is immaterial. Wait a minute. That's the conclusion. That's not a premise. Okay, premise one should be P. Premise two should be Q. And then you do the conjunction introduction, and you end up with P and Q. And then, well, no, premise one would be, oh, okay, yeah, he's right. Okay, so premise one is if semantic meaning is immaterial and life requires semantics, then the cause of life is immaterial. What the fuck does any of that mean to anybody?
Yeah, the premises have to be true.
Yeah, so let's see. So he kind of stated his conclusion. Well, his conclusion is embedded in his premise one. So basically, yeah. And then he says, yeah, the cause of life is immaterial. So he goes from, basically he's making an inference between P and Q and I guess R. Or wait a minute. Yeah, R. Cause of life is immaterial. So, I mean, but it doesn't mean anything at all. None of this means anything. What is semantic meaning? What does he mean by semantic meaning is immaterial? Because, like, semantics in computers is if you have a token like if, and you have an expression, which is, syntax. So you have a token and an expression, and then it will have some semantics, meaning what your computer will do as a result of reading that particular syntactic construction, that sort of thing. That would be the semantics. So if it's an if and an expression followed by another block, then it's going to execute that block if that expression returns true. That's semantics. That would give you the meaning of the computer statements. But how does that apply to anything else? So semantic meaning is immaterial. Why does life require semantics? Any ideas? Anyone?
Anybody? This whole thing about
I have no idea.
Internet code is a code or something like that.
What's
Maybe
that?
if we had access to his previous posting where he talked about an informal argument or something, maybe we'd understand what the hell he's talking about. But once again,
Life
context.
requires meaning.
Yeah, his previous one is on his community page. The one that refers to, or this is referring to, his original one.
I mean,
If you go down a ways,
Have you found it?
yeah, the original one that he posted this one too, but he must have removed it. I don't know what he did with this one, but the original one is on there, and it was not set up as a formal argument. And then
there it is.
Yeah, and then somebody put the post in that was not set up as a formal argument, so then he put it in a syllogism as this here. It's after the fact. So you have to, you know what I'm saying? If you look at the other one, it's not set up. It's just, like I said, I don't know. John is too stupid for me to even understand.
Okay, can we read this? Okay, some if-then fun for atheists, some fun reading for theists. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we can anticipate an onslaught of standard talking points, which will prove beyond doubt that YouTube atheists don't actually use their brains. Well, this may be from, read more. Okay, I'm going to read more. Oh my God, he's got big, heavy fucking, he wrote a book. Okay, well, this may be from having their minds blown so many times they now exist in a near vegetative state. Incapable of critical thinking is more likely to be an activation of their extreme case of desperate rejection. Okay, droid C and the ever dangerous whatever LPC or whatever the fuck. Somebody just joined. Thought experiment will also, with almost 100% certainty, showcase the common condition. What are these? What the fuck are these conditions? Appear to be okay. So he's babbling about his clever little acronyms. What the fuck? Will result in these sort of actions. Therefore, I have even placed a written statement to this effect in small print at the bottom of the image. However, it is extremely likely that a large percentage of responses will clearly showcase inability to comprehend this or triggering, which leaves them unable to see this prediction. Okay, so this is it.
That's it. Yeah.
So where's he back it up? Did he back it up down here somewhere?
No. Then he posts the other one. But if you click on that, right, then you can click on that image, and then it'll bring you to that page, and it'll show you comments on the page. Right?
Okay. So I click on this.
The image, click right on that image. You should be able to click on that. There you go.
Hey, I just want to pause. I want to pause for a moment and recognize Simus, who is it Simus or Seamus? Simos, who has come into the room to.
Hi, Funky.
Hello.
You're honored, sir.
Yeah, if 2 equals 2 plus 2, then I'm an atheist.
Yeah. So, okay, I changed his argument to if poop is cotton candy and life requires poop, then the cause of life is cotton candy.
There you go. That's about what it boils down to.
Yep. Okay, let's see. Oh, there are a whole bunch of...
Yeah, but you want to hear the funniest thing? I don't usually involve my spouse into any of this stuff. Every now and then I will. And I think I actually showed my wife this posting, right? And I said, look at this. This is the stupid ass shit that this idiot puts on YouTube all the time, right? You read this and you tell me what you think, right? Because she is not involved in this whatsoever. She doesn't even know what's going on, right? So she read it and she says, what the fuck is that? She says, is that just him showing that he knows a bunch of big words, or what the hell is that? So I asked a person that has no, a part of this community, knows nothing about John, knows nothing about anything, and that was the conclusion that a completely unbiased person came to.
Yeah.
That what the fuck is this idiot putting on this? So anyway.
Same test you would do against creation in general. Show it to someone who has no bias whatsoever towards it. What are they gonna think?
Exactly. Yeah, you almost show it to a person that really knows nothing about it, and you show it to them, they'd be like, "What the fuck?" Exactly.
He's not getting a whole lot of positive response on this one. At the same time, I'll say that the above argument is valid but not sound. The first part.
Hello.
Hello.
How we doing?
Hey, we're okay. Okay, so let's see.
Oh, snap.
Makes perfect sense. Not. Call me emo. Can't view the fine print of my Android. but the argument doesn't follow. Invalid and unsound syllogism from a theist. What a surprise! I don't think it's invalid, but it's not sound. Oh my goodness!
Yeah. So there you go. So those postings that he received from this in the very first one made him post that other one the first one you showed.
Yeah.
To try to put it in a syllogism and then make it an actual argument.
Oh, okay. So I got to look at the replies here.
So, yeah.
Let me see if I can see the replies.
I don't know if there's any replies on that other one or not.
I wish there was an expand all on this thing. Really irritates me that YouTube doesn't have an expand all. You have to do them all manually. Mine, Ben.
Rather than the topic, they're arguing genetics in the chat. Gotta love it.
Should we bring on here?
What was that?
Oh, so Mine Ben says, yes, premise one is basically a restatement of this argument is true. I kind of regret posting it now.
Where was that?
That's the guy that posted the logical. He put it into a formal logical argument. So he just did it to help John out, and then he kind of he says, I kind of regret posting it now because it's just ridiculous. Yeah. Let's see. But where's mine, Ben?
It seems awfully canny to why can I not remember what it's called? Arguing the consequent,
affirming the consequence.
Affirming the consequent. Thank you. Yes, seems awfully similar to that.
Yeah. Yeah, but I can't find his. I still can't find where mine Ben posted the thing. Anyway, well, who cares? Oh, wait a minute. There's a whole fuck of a lot more here. There we go.
I think I saw a post on consensus. Ooh.
I don't know. Anyway, well, who cares? What else going on, guys? Anyway, Leo brought that to me, and Leo was supposed to show up and talk about it, but he never did. So,
should we bring Dessel in here and spice up the conversation?
Oh, Dessel. I don't know if we want that guy around here anymore. I don't know. He's our new Danny.
Yeah. Oh, great. You're going to just pick a new Danny every time.
He was just trying to replace Danny. That's what he actually admitted it. He said that's what he was doing. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, LPP. So, I don't know what else is going on today, guys. Anything else going on?
Not much. I'm still waiting for a response from Standing.
You'll never get it.
On what?
I don't even know if we're still doing our debate at this point.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So, yeah, he tends to do that. And you were going to do it on his channel?
Probably.
Usually he's pretty good about, doing stuff on his channel, but he's been pretty busy with his dudes wearing geology. I think those are actually fisherman jackets that they buy.
Yeah, who's that? McKay there? You talking about?
Yeah. Yeah, well, all of them. There's a bunch of them that wear that same jacket.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if it's actually the same jacket or if they have more than one.
It's probably the same one. They give it to each other when they're on Standing for Poop's channel.
No, I did see two at once the other time. They had three panelists, but of course they could have pre-recorded it and edited it.
Yeah, but I think Standing for Poop has an extra one just in case.
Oh,
just keeps a spare, and then the other person will use the spare. Just
Yep.
Usually what he does, I think.
So why did you post the link again? Who are you inviting?
Anybody who wants to come in.
Yeah.
Who cares? At this point.
World.
I'm
surprised John isn't around.
Trying to think of what happened yesterday.
I called you.
You called me. What did you want? I can't remember. Anyway,
There was a little bit of battling going on with Young Earth. They were fighting over that, the Christians, a little bit. That was kind of, I like to see that.
on Praise's channel?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Oh,
I thought it was on Standing's channel.
Well, yeah, it's kind of been all over the place. And I think part of it was, on Tangelo, you know him, he bounces all over the place. And he's been jumping on some of these pretty sophisticated panels. He's been jumping on, like Digital Gnosis. He jumped on that one with some pretty sophisticated characters there. Where else? Oh, he jumped on Myth Visions.
really?
He jumped on that panel too, with some pretty sophisticated. There was one guy on that panel that was he's got a PhD in the whatever you would call the Hebrew Bible. He can read Hebrew.
Yeah.
Or whatever that is, whatever that actual PhD means. Or
You talking about Kip Davis?
yes, Kip. Yep,
Yeah,
he was on
I've
there.
been watching the videos where he's come on. He's pretty good.
Yeah, and then also Converse Contender. He jumps on with those guys every now and then, and he's a Old Earth, or what you would call what do you call that? A progressive Christian, would you call it? I guess whatever. So there's been some talk about because everybody knows on Tangelo's a Young Earth, and so those conversations have come up. They've kind of been a little bit when Tangelo goes on these channels. They press him a little bit, and they've been trying to press him into talking with Converse Contender, which I think they're going to set up something. They actually spoke and said, hey, yeah, maybe we should set up a talk, because they're both theists, and one's, and also they want on Tangelo to talk with that Rob from Sentinel Apologetics. He's another one that's, I guess you would call him a progressive Christian. He's a Christian, but he, believes in evolution, and he's not a Young Earth or any of that stuff. So,
Oh my goodness, I feel sorry for Christians sometimes.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for the Young Earth ones. That's for sure.
Well, no, they're not the ones.
Why do you feel sorry for them?
I feel sorry
Why
for
do you
Rob
feel?
having to listen to Angelo do his stick.
Well, yeah. They've had a few conversations a little bit.
Don't get me wrong. Rob has moments of flexibility, shall we say?
Yep.
And he's going to have to be very flexible when dealing with Angelo.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I find it difficult because when he starts making arguments, he tends to try and avoid putting them into syllogisms, and that's a problem. That's an issue. And like as an atheist, it's easy to tear it apart because we don't believe any of it. But as a Christian, you tend to go with it. I would imagine they would go with it a bit. And when he starts going, but the Bible says, then then you would think, okay, well they'll agree that the Bible says that. So where's the disagreement? You know what I mean? And then Angelo's got X amount of backward pedaling to go. I mean, he can pedal backwards to right back to it's not quite as old as you think it is. And what do they say then? They go, well, yeah, maybe. So I mean, you say Young Earth, but
yeah,
he changes view. Sure enough, when he's confronted with somebody who has as much Bible knowledge as he does.
Yep.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Did Ian Chen posted something the other day about Dr. Dan and Kent Hovind having another debate on modern day debate. Did that ever happen?
That's right. I meant to look for that because he did post that yesterday. That's
I'm curious how that turned out for some reason. Well,
yeah.
Actually, I know the reason because I want to see how Dr. Dan did.
Yeah, I forgot all about that. I meant to look for that, and I don't think I actually went looking. I think that was, he said it was like a spontaneous thing, like they just were going to do it, and it was supposed to be last night, right?
I think so. Yeah, it was an impromptu debate, I think.
Yeah.
Someone look for it.
Somebody looking? I'll look. Do you want me to look?
Yeah.
So
Look.
tell me again what the debate is and what it was about. Who was in the debate and what it's about?
Supposedly, Dr. Dan and Kent Hovind on modern day debate relatively recently. I don't know exactly what it was on, though. I think it was the Ark, but I'm not sure.
So, Scott, who cursed us with this book?
That was by none other than CRISPR-Cas9.
Well, I mean, it's not really a curse, is it?
It was a curse.
I mean, it's a curse if you hate math and genetics, but you guys don't, do you?
My problem is when I sit down, sometimes I end up watching TV when I had planned on reading, because TV's not near as deep and complicated and mathematical as a book like this. So,
yeah, I had to buy the damn thing, and you know about my budget. I'm trying to.
Yeah.
I'm trying to quit.
I bought it too, so.
Yep. Thought this was cool. What do we have here? Mutation, recombination. But I did I did manage to get a photocopied version so we could at least look at the damn thing. Ecological factors, biotic, where are we? Genetic composition, genetic drifts, migration.
I want this book.
Mutation, recombination.
Anyway,
okay, I just looked for that video and it's not up. I don't see it.
Huh.
Okay.
So I don't know if that
happened.
It might not have happened. Yeah.
Did you look under upcoming live streams?
I looked. I mean, I looked real quick and I didn't see it. So, I mean, I looked on his homepage.
So it was either somewhere else or hasn't taken place.
Yeah, I don't think it hasn't happened. I don't believe, and it doesn't look like it's scheduled. I didn't see it, but I didn't.
That's a bummer.
I think it would have been right there, and I didn't see it. So I can.
I'm like 99% sure he said modern day debate, but whatever.
Right. That's what I thought too. I saw that too, Andrew, and I was interested in it myself. I would have liked to have seen that, but so maybe it just like he did say it was a prompt too, like it was not planned, and so maybe it just fell through or something. I don't know.
What page am I looking for?
Because Kent has done that before, right? He has like set up debates and not shown up.
66.
Stuff like that, right? That's not unusual for him, right?
That is an MO of his.
Oh my God.
So
what's this? Natural selection? Oh my God.
Now I did read that section a while ago. So, but when I see the math and the tables, I just have to kind of like peruse over it a little bit. But because I don't understand it as much.
Yeah.
But it kind of helps me in a way because you look at the curves and you look how things behave. So.
And what are we looking at, Speed? Can you fill me in again? I'm sorry.
Oh, this is a book. It's a book that Scott and I both purchased, and I think CRISPR purchased, and CRISPR told us about it. And then I went ahead and I found this shitty photocopy of it, basically, so that I can show it on the screen. And it has a thing on in chapter 3. It has a bit on natural selection on genotypes. And here is the counterfactuals that Danny was asking for. Basically, if for diploid organisms, there are a whole lot of counterfactuals that affect how fast basically a mutation will fix in the population. These curves show going from 0 to fixation, or from just like down on the bottom here at 0. That is where the mutation happens. And if it's recessive, it grows very slowly, and then all of a sudden it starts to kick up. And if it's additive, or if it's dominant, it has a different curve, basically. So,
Oh boy.
Yeah, the reason why I ended up getting that is because during all that, the initial phases of all that Fodor stuff that we were arguing about, I kept asking, well, where is some written material from actual scientists, dealing with what natural selection is?
yeah.
And CRISPR was good enough was good enough to provide that.
I kind of like Casper.
Source.
Yeah, this book is a lot about ecology, and they get really far into the ecological part of the arguments, niches and things like that. But they use natural selection to explain all of it. So I don't know if there are any G-matrices. What's a G-matrix?
Yeah, I was wondering what a G-matrix is.
Let me check.
So Andrew Dessel's coming after you, I guess.
Yeah, I saw that.
Naturalism of the gaps. He's coming after you.
Oh boy.
Yep.
I'm sorry, guys. This is my epitaph right now.
Oh, okay. Well, we liked you when you had a pulse. That's going to be on your tombstone. We liked him when he had a pulse.
Well, I told you that debate between that Bernard guy and Grand Oppie, that would be a great thing. With Oppie's a naturalist and the other guy's the metaphysical idealist, so that would be quite the discussion.
What's the name of the other guy, David?
It's Bernard Kastrup, I think is how you pronounce his name. Trying to set up there's a couple of guys that are trying to set up a debate, basically, or a discussion / debate. I don't think it's not going to be like between Grand Oppie and that guy, and that would be, I think, a really good thing. But yeah, you better put your thinking cap on, I think, with those two guys, because they're both extremely brilliant. And the funny thing is Bernard didn't even know Graham Oppie, which was like, I was shocked about that. He was asked, do you know Graham? And he said, no, I don't actually know him. And he said, but I would be interested in having a discussion if he's interested. I was shocked that he didn't know him.
Yeah, depends. Is he a theist?
No, he's not.
Oh, okay. I'm shocked as well then, yeah.
I couldn't tell you the man. This is the first time I've listened to the man, and I couldn't even explain to you his view. I don't know if he's dualism or not, but maybe he is. I mean, I don't know if you'd call it that or not, but he's basically, the mind is like everything. The reality is a mind. Is basically how he described it. He's really hard to follow. He's extremely brilliant, and he's pretty hard to follow his argument, but it was very interesting.
Yep. Well, brilliant can be a difficult word.
Yeah, and he, like I said, and for him to have a discussion with Graham Oppie, who's a naturalist, I think that would be a very interesting conversation between the two of them.
Yeah, Graham Oppie is not very confrontational, so
right.
I think it would be interesting to hear. I mean, I don't think you can get far in a conversation like that unless you're going to be confrontational. Somebody has to take the affirmative position.
Yeah.
Graham tends not to do that. He's a bit more of a well-rounded person.
Right, right.
So he tends to say, well, my naturalism is, of course, based upon Occam's razor or something like that. He's not going to say there is no chance that the alternative side could be wrong or right.
It's just, he'll just say it's a simpler explanation for me, and that's it, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be my guess. I mean, he may surprise me, of course. He's much smarter than I am.
Yeah.
But
And it's funny, a lot of people have, or I shouldn't say a lot of people, but some people have said Graham Hoppy is one of the most brilliant, or at least William Lane Craig has referred to him as one of the most brilliant minds out there. Like as far as, and he's a philosopher, right? That's what his PhD is in, is philosophy, correct?
100%,
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I know
I don't
Craig.
consider him to be one of the most brilliant, no, but you know, but it's a matter of taste, you know, and I think that's the thing. And of course, Craig is going to say that because, you know, Graham Hoppy is not confrontational. So, of course, he's not going to go to the confrontational philosophers, PhD philosophers.
Right. Yeah.
Because they're brilliant, right? I mean, he's debated several, right? Arif Ahmed is my particular favorite, who's a professor of philosophy at Cambridge.
Yeah.
And he's confrontational with it. You know, he will say, well, the problem with your position is X, Y, Z. And, and then my position is this, that, and the other, and then he'll defend his position, you know. He tends to go with John McKay, I think.
And that was actually brought up when they asked this Bernard guy if he wanted to, and that was brought up how Graham Hoppy is not confrontational, and he said, "Wow, that's fine too, but it's when you get into these types of conversations, sometimes you have to be confrontational. You have to kind of go instead of getting into all the minutiae of it all and all the pleasantries, as he explained it. You're better off just going for the throat or going for the neck or however he explained it. You know, it's a better way to get at the real meat of the subject, is the way he explained it. So,
yeah. I mean, the thing is, I mean, I like Graham Hoppy a lot, don't get me wrong. And, you know, not being confrontational can be a good thing as well. So
yeah, no, I mean, basically,
be all and end all. I'm just saying that you've got to follow both sides,
right? But
right?
Basically, what Bernard
he will switch between the two very quickly because he's smart enough to understand exactly what the other person's saying, and then he will say, "Well, I think this about that, and my position is X, Y, Z."
Right. Well,
quite confusing for people who don't have the depth and breadth of understanding that he does, right? Not me, for instance.
Yeah. I mean, basically, Bernard was saying that he would be okay with somebody that was confrontational because sometimes that can be better because it gets you. That's basically what he was saying. He was, you know, because he didn't know Graham Hoppy, he was, and he was told Graham Hoppy is not confrontational. He was saying, well, that's okay. I don't mind confrontational people because of sometimes it can be better that way because you get into the meat of the conversation quicker. So that's basically what he was saying. You know, he was just, so anyway.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. I mean,
yeah.
Again, not that Graham hasn't got the skills to take the guy apart. I'm sure he does. Metaphysical idealism seems to me a pretty strong claim. So,
yeah.
I would think that there's some fairly decent refutations of it. Naturalism, I don't think, under Hoppy's view, is a particularly strong claim, other than, as I say, there's an abductive argument for it.
Yeah.
Whereas you can't really make an abductive argument for metaphysical claims, I would have thought.
Yeah.
Almost certainly, by definition, you're going to have to give a deductive argument.
Yeah. So, like I said, there's a couple of people that are trying to set that up, and I would love to see that. You know, that debate. I think it would be really interesting.
Yeah. I mean, Alex Malpass's channel called Thoughtology has got a really interesting conversation with Graham Hoppy on it. So I would recommend people go and listen to that.
Which one?
Oh, really? Alex Malpass's?
Yeah, it's called Thoughtology. I'll get you the link for it.
Okay.
Is that recent?
No, it's a few years. few years.
Oh, it's a few years old. Oh, okay.
Hey guys,
Yes,
Hey.
Andrew.
I want to say something pretty heretical. You okay with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You heretic, go ahead.
Where's Otangelo when you need him?
what do we need him for?
Yeah. Yeah.
Spice things up today? Spice things up.
He showed up yesterday. He came and he popped into the chat yesterday for only a few minutes, made a few comments, and that's it. So I think he lurks for sure.
Yeah.
The lurker.
So if you want him, you just gotta start say on Tangelo 3 times, and maybe he'll show up.
Jello. On the
Oh,
wall.
Tangelo. Oh, Tangelo. Oh, he's in Pine Creek's live chat.
Oh well.
He's doing questions, and ask me anything kind of things. So he's trying to get on there with Doug.
Oh Jesus, I don't know. Well, I mean, Doug has had conversations with him. I don't know if he would want him on there, but maybe he will. I don't know.
Well, he really mamaed Otangelo on this one team up they had on. I guess it was on Digital Gnosis not too long ago. Yeah. So.
Yeah, he was kind of like helping on Tangelo out, and he said, "I'll play the advocate, and you just nod whether you agree or not." Right? That's what he was doing.
So what episode on Thoughtology were you talking about, or did you put the link in private chat already? There's a channel, so I'll put that. Oh, by the way, I put this G-Matrix paper in the description from Raw Nakedness. It's supposed to be a Fodor spray, Fodor killer spray, which is always good. And I will put this Thoughtology in the description. I had nothing else to do today because I haven't got a fucking thing to say. So, now you were talking about a particular video on this thing. Was it Graham Oppie and Joe Schmid? Or he's got a whole bunch of Graham Oppie.
Yeah, they get on really well together. So Graham comes on quite a lot.
But were they talking about naturalism?
I don't think there's a naturalism one there that I remember offhand. But if you go through like the videos, you'll find lots of. He does one where they review. A debate with William Lane Craig, one of them is.
Okay.
And then there's the other ones.
Yep.
Oh, Graham Priest as well. So Graham Oppie, The Logical Problem of Evil. That was the one I was thinking of, which is quite interesting.
God, I'm not a fan of that.
We're really
evil.
I'm really trying to fill dead air here.
I am
Andrew.
too.
Andrew, help me out, Andrew. Help me out.
I don't have anything to talk about.
I'm trying to fill dead air.
I've got too much phylogenetic jargon, and I don't want to spoil it.
Well, I think we must have answered all the issues in atheism.
I think we did all the answers.
Yeah.
We have all the answers.
Who is this raw nakedness person in the chat? Can she?
I don't know, but apparently knows some pop gen, which is I had never heard of a G-matrix. It's a linear algebra term, and I'd never heard of it, and I want to look into it. So I linked that paper, Understanding the Evolution and Stability of the G-matrix. And let me see. G-matrix has something to do with diagonals or something, as far as I can guess. But anyway, looks pretty interesting. Something to check out. It is in the description, and I shall take a look at the paper.
So what is up with philosophy?
Stupid Whore Energy, Raw Nakedness. Who the hell is Stupid Whore Energy? God damn. Like, you come up with something. I mean, what?
She's legendary.
PhDs? Do you have a PhD in something? Because, wow. I mean, some of the questions that she comes up with are just amazing, It's kind of a mystery. Anyway,
Yeah, she was stupid Horingi for a long time, and then she
Why
changed
did
it,
you
right?
change your name to Raw Nakedness because of your appearance on Praise? Or no, I won't bring that up. I'm pretty sure that the legendary Batman move. Anyway,
All right, so I was going to bring up philosophy now.
okay.
So is it philosophers? I guess their strongest thing is if they have a contradiction. There's a contradiction, then they're going to go with that argument, right? Like,
Well, they come up with Frankenstein arguments like John did. That argument that John, very, very juvenile and sophomoric, John's argument. But basically, even sophisticated philosophers come up like Fodor, who knows enough to know better. They come up with these Frankenstein arguments where they can put together some sort of syllogism or some logical construct that is valid, but its soundness. And then you look at the premises and the way the premises are worded. No one wants to disagree with any of the premises because there are conditions or there are ways that you could think that sounds valid, right? So you got this like Frankenstein argument, and then they come up with this slam dunk conclusion, which they will defend, like Danny defending this attack on natural selection.
Right.
And it takes you like weeks to realize, well, even that precept, those precept arguments, right? They're the same way. They're like Frankensteinian versions of linguistic trickery is what it is. And you'll notice that the conclusion is always somehow embedded in the premises,
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I want to say that like arguments don't decide reality. The data ultimately decides reality.
Right.
Exactly.
That's right. That's kind of why
Oh, you heretic.
Yeah.
I'm a heretic.
Basically,
I'm a good boy.
And like I said, that guy Bernard, I was listening to him today, and he claimed that materialism breaks down to absurdity, and there's contradictions in it, and that's why he holds to metaphysical idealism. So
what's
I mean, but it's like you can, if there's a contradiction there, then a philosopher's going to go with the argument or the conclusion of that or whatever, right?
Yeah, but it's entirely rhetorical.
It depends what he means by materialism. I mean, he will have a specific definition, and maybe his definition does show a contradiction. Just the same way that Fodor's argument is true if you accept his premises as being correct, right? But we don't accept his premise. Well, I don't accept the premises to be correct as a representation of the theory of evolution. So, or natural selection even. So therefore, that's what I don't dispute the conclusion. I dispute the premise that leads to the conclusion.
Right.
And that's where the contradiction is, right? So
but the best premises, you look at them, and on first blush they seem okay. If they word them very carefully,
they don't. No, I mean, when you actually look at Fodor's argument, he specifically says selected for is as the mechanism, right? And that's disputed in evolution. So.
And the other thing that Danny says over and over and over again is that the theory of natural selection is supposed to tell you which traits the ecology will select, right?
It's selected for,
So, I mean, he's already brought ecology into it. So he's saying that ecology should be able to inform you about which traits. But then when you say, okay, it's the ecology that informs you, then he says, oh, no, that's not part of natural selection. So he cuts it out. So he builds a straw man that natural selection is supposed to be some kind of a law that tells you whether it's a thump noise or the pumping of the blood, right? And no, it doesn't. And it's, but I mean, the way they word it and the way they twist you around the rhetorical spindle, you have trouble dealing with them, right?
Well,
I mean, they are good at what they do.
You've got to be careful with it. I mean, there's
right.
it's the devil's in the detail here, right? Because like I was saying, right, when I looked through the argument, it wasn't until I actually did the transcription of Fodor speaking his argument that I
Yeah.
realized there were two things, at least three things wrong with it. Firstly, I disagreed with the first premise. Okay, and I didn't think that was an accurate representation of what natural selection was. Right, so it's a straw man argument. Secondly, there's a word where he was trying to claim a metaphysical claim about an empirical case. So that seems to me a category error. And then thirdly, his grammar is appalling. I mean, as an English speaker, okay, I just think that when you use the same word like three times three times in one case, he uses the same word in a sentence. And that's just bad grammar. Okay, you're not you're not gonna persuade people that are very literate, right? If your argument has these kind of grammatical errors in them, right? He doesn't use full stops. Sometimes he uses commas. That's just not helping. Okay, so not only is the argument a straw man, there's also category error. And even if you give him those two things and repair the argument, okay, you still don't get to necessarily an accurate representation of what it is. Now, the point you made a long time ago, Speed, is that you could grant the tautology of it based upon, if it's the case that we go down completely one end of the scale and we were to say, we were to grant this mechanism explains virtually any trait, right? If that was to be the case, right, then again, we could grant part of the argument. But that isn't the case. Again, that's a straw man argument of natural selection. So both of Danny's arguments are in fact straw men of the actual case of how evolution has become to be known. Now, did Darwin make those mistakes? Well, that's another question, and it's a historical question. It's not a modern scientific question.
I mean, right? my understanding is that natural selection is based on ecology, but does not is not using ecology to explain anything. Like natural selection explains adaptation; it doesn't explain like particular conditions, if that makes sense.
For certain breeding populations, it explains how the allelic frequencies will vary across time, across generations, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, there are curves, but there are all kinds of conditions, and Darwin didn't know a whole lot about any of that stuff back then. But since then, it's become quite sophisticated, so that we have conditions for basically certain models, like an infinite population, okay, really large population, diploid species, non-assortative mating or panmictic. So anything can mate with anything, right? You give those, you take those things and you throw a mutation in with a certain fitness, which is a number. It's a number like 0.8 or 1.2 or whatever. And you can watch what it does to the population, and that is natural selection. And I mean, it's almost a mathematical mechanism. But then when you strip it down, what they do is they strip it down and they take everything out of it, and they say, "Oh, it's a tautology that the survivorist survives, right?"
Yeah, exactly.
The most survivey thing survives, and they want to strip it down, and that's why it's a fucking straw man that they're attacking.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, even if that's the case, tautologies are technically true.
They are, yeah.
Well, of course they're true. By definition, you just don't have a reason to believe that they're true.
Right.
Okay, so let me just address Tom. No, what I said actually is not that they are incorrect. I said it's poor grammar. It is poor grammar. That's what I meant to say. So if I said anything different, let me correct myself.
Okay.
When you use the same word several times in a sentence, in one sentence, that's just poor grammar. It's not incorrect.
So he says here, so then if there's a nomic relation between the property of being a T1 and the property of competing successfully with T2s, and if the distinction between selection of T1s and selection for being T1s turns on the corresponding counterfactuals, then the laws of selection might vindicate the selection for distinction, right? But there are no nomic laws that do that, right? Not without bringing in other facts or other parts of the structure. So then he claims that, then natural selection just doesn't work because you cannot determine whether it's going to be a T1 or a T2 that is going to successfully compete in that environment. And everybody knows that. So, I mean, he states something that everybody knows, but in such a way that you think, what is he saying? And it's like, but that's all he's saying. And that's all he ever says. And he says it over and over again in his paper. I mean, he goes through example after example that are nothing more than complaining that you can't tell which thing is going to be successful in which environment. So then he claims that all of evolution is just a historical story. And that's all we can ever do is look at the historical story. And he takes all of the mechanism and the meat out of evolution, or the theory of evolution, which doesn't make any sense. So, by the way, I've linked his paper in the description if anybody wants to. This paper summarizes his book, and it also answers to a lot of his critics, or he hopes it does. But there's a bunch of shit in here.
Yeah, you don't even have to do that. Just go to the debate he had with Sober.
Yeah, the Sober debate is pretty good.
Yeah, listen to his opening speech. If you copy that out in English or whatever he thinks he's speaking.
I think I have a transcript of that.
Yeah, so do I. I actually have one with the things underlined here. And he says there's 2 points. The 4 I've already pointed out, but the one I haven't pointed out to you, since the traits are linked, that is, since you always get one if you get the other, right? Well, no. Again, always is a very strong word and not to be used in empirical science that way. Right? And if you do, you're just actually linking things which are themselves, you're just stating things like hearts have thump sounds. Right? Well, okay, yeah, of course, mammal hearts have thump sounds. That's physics. That's not biology.
I mean, it seems to me like it also ignores obvious things like linked genes, would it not?
Again, all mammal hearts, all right? They are literally moving molecules, right, in a pressurized system. Okay, so therefore they're always going to have a thump sound. I mean, that's just physics. You can't get around that. It's not to do with biology. So the fact that he's giving a physics trait and calling that to be naturally selected, right? Again, I don't know what you're trying to do with that. That doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Are you looking at the screen here? I have the sober transcript.
Oh yeah.
So I'm not sure exactly where he laid the argument out.
Right at the beginning.
Oh, okay. Right here, phenotypic traits are selected for the role in causing increased fitness.
Let me just get mine back up again. I only did the beginning argument because I was only interested in the argument being made. I was not interested in his explanations of it. It's below that. This Fodor says can't be right. And then suppose a certain kind of creature traits, T1 and T, are too linked. That is to say, for some reason, the grammar is going to be a bit poor here, but anyway, that is to say, for some reason that has to do with the psychology or maybe the biochemistry or physiology or maybe the biochemistry. I'm not interested in the physiology here. If you get T1, you always get T2.
Okay, here it is. First point, second point, we think this can't be right. Here's why they suppose certain kind of creature traits T1 and T2 are linked. That is a safe some reason that has to do with physiology or biochemistry. If you get T1, you always get T2. And then he says it might be negative. What Darwin ought to have said in our view is that traits are selected by or selected for causing what? I don't know.
My point here is that by using the word always there, right, you're not saying anything. You're just not saying anything.
Yeah.
Right? If the two traits are so closely linked that they always occur together, okay, then they're more likely to be a physiological trait and not a biological trait. And we're only really interested in biological traits. We're not actually interested in physiological traits.
Suppose that also that having T1 is a cause of increased having T2 is not. Okay. So he's just complaining that things are linked. But like Christopher pointed out, when things are strongly linked, you would consider them phenotypically as one trait. Exactly. You don't need to know all of the genes. In fact, it's almost impossible to figure out how a phenotypic trait depends on genes. That relationship between gene and phenotype is a very complicated relationship, and it's something that we always have to pick apart. So, I mean, the theory was never meant to tell you that.
Well, and how do we do that? Well, we look at the whole system. We don't just look at half of the system.
Right. You look at Evo, Devo, and the whole thing. So.
And then we can see, well, actually, blood needs to flow around the body in order to transport oxygen.
Yep.
Right. And other things. And therefore, it's going to need a pump because it's a pressurized system. So it's going to need a pump. So is it selecting for the pumping or is it selecting for the thumping?
Yeah, here's your complaint right here. Always.
Thumping doesn't get oxygen around the body. Pumping does. So that's the basis upon which we say the trait selected for is not the thumping, it's the pumping.
Yeah.
And that's again,
makes you want to pull your hair out.
It does. And again, as I say, that because the grammar's poor, he's not helping himself, right? If you look at this argument, it's not laid out in a particularly rigorous way.
Yeah.
So that's not helping either. He starts it being rigorous. Oh, look, P1. Premise 1, creatures are selected for their relative fitness and the gene traits they inhabit. P2, phenotypic traits are selected for their role in causing increase in fitness. No, P2 is incorrect. Right? So bang.
Yeah, and then
all of everything else he says is bullshit because he gets P2 wrong.
Yeah.
And that's where I'd like philosophers just to stop saying all of the rest of the stuff and just go, I can discount your argument because you get one of the premises incorrect.
There are so many other more interesting arguments about philosophy of biology and natural selection and evolution.
Yeah, maybe. It's not.
You okay, Speed?
No, I'm not.
But again, I think it's good. I think it's good in some ways because it gets people in biology to go back and actually look at what is, a more correct definition, and hopefully that can teach when it comes to teaching biology and natural selection and evolution. Then they're going to be set up in advance, knowing that this objection would come in if it was taught sloppily.
Yeah, that's why all of this was so valuable, because it made us all think very carefully about this whole goddamn thing. And in thinking, you end up digging around, you end up learning things, which is pretty cool. So I've learned a hell of a lot in the last few weeks, just as a result of that little weenie coming in and blathering.
And I said the same thing. I've been saying that for a week now. Yeah, same thing. So
yeah,
and that's what philosophy really is good for. Is it makes you think, makes you think. But I think it's like I said, it ends up you go around and around and around. It seems so circular. to me.
It's exactly like having your mother-in-law come and stay with you. And in that first day, she points out all of your flaws. But then for the next 3 months that she stays with you, you want to fucking kill her. You know, like she did all of her work in that first day. So the error is in not throwing the little weenies out after one day. So, I mean, when your mother-in-law comes and stays with you, kick her ass out after 24 hours because the only good she will do will be in that first 24 hours. After that, she's just going to make you crazy.
Yeah. Yep.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you said there about it being circular is pretty relevant, okay? Because you're talking specifically about deductive arguments, and more so deductive arguments, which are claiming to have information about an unknown variable. Okay, and that's when the problem comes, because people use deductive arguments, of course, because they have a necessary conclusion. But the problem is, right, because they have a necessary conclusion, all the information of that conclusion is contained within the premises.
Yeah.
And that's why they sound circular. Because you're not saying anything new in the conclusion. Everything is said in the premise.
Yeah. I mean, I actually watched a video earlier today on a couple of young gentlemen who I think are extremely smart, and they were discussing the argument of fine tuning. And they went on for 2.5 hours discussing, and one of the young gentlemen is pursuing a career in physics.
James,
you know what? And well, both of them actually, maybe both of them are actually pursuing careers in physics, and they were talking about variables and it went around and around and around, and it was almost like a philosophical argument type thing, or philosophical discussion, I should say, which I guess technically everything is, right? But and it just, they went on and on and on, and kind of in the end kind of really didn't answer anything.
Yeah, well, I think people get hung up on that argument because it's very intuitive,
right? Because you just don't, you only have a sample of one. So that's
that's my argument.
So there you go. I mean, you got
that's where
one universe, and that's it. So how can you come up with probabilities and all that unless you invoke the multiverse? And so that it was a long discussion. It was a very interesting discussion, but because they were two very smart gentlemen, so it's nice to listen to it, but it goes around and around.
Life is unintuitive.
Yeah,
I think the argument is complete bunk anyway. I mean, it's like
intuitive.
Like
that came up about 100 times during the discussion.
What does intuition have to do with anything? Reality isn't based on intuition.
Well,
actually, intuition is really important, I think.
Yeah, there is a philosophical movement called the Intuitionists.
I didn't know that.
And they're very important.
But it's really important in, intuition is basically a mathematician or like a mathematical system that lives in your brain. And you will get all kinds of facts, and then you'll very, very quickly be able to sum those facts and come up with a thing to do, right? So if you learn a whole lot about a field, you will start to develop an intuition about which way to look for future research, right? So the more you know, the better your intuitive calculator is going to be, because it's going to have more inputs.
Yeah.
So intuition is misunderstood as being, and the same with common sense. Common sense is intuition. It's a very, very quick mechanism in your brain for leading you down the right path when you don't have time to look at all the goddamn facts, right? You hear something wrong.
I'm not saying that's not useful. I'm just saying that's not the ultimate arbiter of what should be true or not.
Oh no, you've got to look a little further. You've got to check. But I mean, it'll get you out of the way of a bear chasing you or something like that.
Right.
Or
Or
some
like
people will cause them to
spooky bed
go
hair.
push the bear off a fence.
Yeah, like spooky bed hair when he pops up, I jump out of my seat. And
did y'all see that video of that lady, to protect her dog? She went and pushed a bear off a wall that it was climbing and trying to mess with the pups. And she just runs over there, pushes the bear off the wall, and grabs up her pups and runs away.
Cool.
So let me just say this one thing quickly then about intuition, is that we use it in every single level of decision making that we make. And the point is, it's not something which is we just have. Yeah, we have to learn a particular subject, and the more we learn about the subject, we change our intuition on it, right?
That's what I was saying by basically it being a mathematician in your brain that's capable of very quickly adding things up. And the more the more input you give it, the more information you give it, the better the math will be. So the more you know, the better your intuition will be.
So with theoretical physics, for instance, they will study a lot of mathematics and modeling, etc., and then maybe they'll come up with some new ideas. Then they'll study more maths to explain those ideas, and then they'll use intuition to do that. And then they'll study, then they'll use, and it's an ongoing circle, right?
Yeah. I just want to point.
The more intuition you have about it, the more you can use your intuition to make further gains.
I just want to point something out. This first message here is the difference between me and Scott. So this first message is Scott's message. Have you hit the like button yet? And then my messages, you can always tell my messages by the directness.
Yeah.
There's a difference. There's a difference, Scott, in our moderation.
Again, Tom, we're talking about the fine-tuning argument. That's different to what you're talking about, probably. And I think it's bunk. And you can give as many physicists saying that they think it's true as you like. I think it's bunk. It's just based on philosophy.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyway, there you go.
Oh, guys, so what should we do now? Should we go out and round up the weeds? Should we go outside and play? Should we get out of here?
I'd like some weeds. I haven't had any for a week.
Oh, you should call me.
Oh, damn right, I should. Oh, my, I should.
Yeah. Anyway.
You ready to kill the dead air already, huh?
I'm ready to shoot this thing in the head.
Hey, I thought we did pretty good, and we didn't have really anything to talk about. We were
we did
killing
okay.
dead air, right?
Yeah, we did okay.
Yeah. Especially when we
Are you lying to us?
When we don't have any Christians to make fun of, or usually that can really fill up a lot of space. But
you guys just have no imagination. What Jesus is everywhere. He's always here to make fun of.
Oh yeah. Well, the Christians have been like fighting with each other and going down all these arcane holes about universalism or whatever the hell is it, pluralism, and that's all they've been doing lately. So they haven't been picking on us atheists too much. So
the big one is the once saved, always saved.
Yeah, once saved, always saved.
Yeah, that's kind of like the newest one. That was the one little pee-pee had a flip and fit over.
Oh yeah, that fit was awesome. That was
yeah.
I think I linked it in the weather report a couple days ago, so I'd have to go check. We don't want to lose that one because that one's precious. Yeah.
Because I think John is he kind of adheres to that. Or at least some of his statements is kind of like referred to that, and I think all these main or the do you call them fundamentalists, whatever they are, the main Christians, they don't like that. That's that once saved, always saved crap. They don't like that.
Just before he freaked out on Smokey, though, the example he used is suppose you have a girlfriend and you're sleeping with her and you're not married. Does that mean you're not saved? And then he started telling Smokey, "Are you saying I'm not saved?" So I think John has a girlfriend and he's been like out of wedlock sleeping with her. Yeah, and it really kind of really disturbs him because he's looking at the fucking the lake of fire, man. He's according to Smokey, he's fucked.
Yeah.
The Lake of Fire? What do you mean? She's got an STD?
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that's why he freaked out. It is, are you questioning my salvation? And
Yeah,
he
exactly.
like wigged out on that.
Well, the other thing is that John hasn't been to church for a long time because he doesn't really give a shit about Christianity at all. All he cares about is picking on atheists.
Yeah, that's right. He did say that. I mean, here's a guy, right? Look at all the crap he spews online here, right? And here's a guy. He admitted that he hasn't been to a goddamn church in his entire adult life. Like,
Yeah.
I think the last time he went to church is when he was a kid. So,
Guys,
I mean, you call that a Christian?
Oh my God, he's here! Oh, it's a little peepee.
Here he is.
Holy crap, you guys are idiots. You don't even understand what's being debated. No, we don't, because we're not fucking Christians and we don't believe in your myths. We don't really give a shit what you're debating.
We don't care.
All we care about how funny it is.
I could care less about your once saved, always saved, John, because I don't even believe in saved. I don't even know what that is, and I could give a shit about it.
Yeah, you can take it. The only thing we care about, John, is how funny it is that you guys that you quickly start dropping the F-bomb with your buddy Christian brother, over there, and it's like you guys are fucking hilarious.
Yeah, and I want to know who the hell are you sleeping with, John? You better stop that because you're bound to the lake of fire. You're going to hell.
Hey, Speed.
What?
Since John is here, can I talk to him about more biology related stuff?
Sure.
So, would you mind sending out the link
to John? Oh, this would be a trip.
I'm sorry, Speed.
What are you trying to do, John?
Andrew, try having a conversation with John.
I'm attempting to have a conversation.
I'm trying to have a conversation with John.
Really? Mm-hmm. You're going to attempt to have a conversation with John. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see how this works out.
You have no idea what point is being. We don't care what point's being made, John. We made that perfectly clear. We don't.
I'm just very concerned. I'm very concerned, John, that you're going to hell. So you better repent.
You're sitting at a red light. Those things last forever.
Red light? Okay. We understand.
Yeah, I mean,
what kind of red light? Do you mean in some kind
of when you get to the next red light, immediately come into the stream because I guarantee you I'm going to have to kick you out before the light turns green. So it'll work out fine.
John, you need to repent before the next light turns green.
Yeah, exactly.
You're living in sin with your girlfriend.
Ooh, the light is red like Satan.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like Satan.
What will the fucking father do about it? That's the fucking point.
Oh, he dropped the C-bomb on SFT channel the other day. Oh, you got to send me a link, Chris. You got to send me a link to that.
Congratulations on being a douche. Who's a douche, John? Who's a douche?
We know you're a douche, John.
You're living in sin. You're living in sin, John. You must be a douche.
You pluralist.
Yeah.
He's a pluralist.
John, are you oneness? Are you oneness or are you? Yeah.
You multitudinous.
John is that guy just below you, something from nothing.
Hence why you don't understand the obvious. So I'm single, dumbass.
I think that was the point we were making. You're not married.
That's what I was trying to figure out is what happened to the wife, John. You had a wife in 1990. Or no, 2010. So what happened to her?
Oh, my God. At least he's not Catholic, so that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Not hold that against him.
Yep.
You're not supposed to get divorced either, are you, when you're a Christian?
No, only when you're Catholic.
Well, one thing for damn sure is John should not be getting laid because he's single, according to the Bible.
Yeah.
Wait. My question is, how is he sending these messages if he's in his car?
Right. Are you texting and driving, John?
Yeah.
He's probably got passengers in the back too.
Oh, because he's never been married.
Never been married.
John,
But he has a
you're
kid.
single.
Just-
You're
just
single, and you've never been married.
never been married.
I think.
Are you
What
still a
is
virgin?
wrong with you, John?
Are you still a virgin, little Pee-Pee?
No, he's had a kid. He's got a kid. So, yeah.
He hasn't. He's had a
No.
kid out of wedlock.
Yes.
Oh my God.
What a
Wow.
wedlock.
The girl's father must be
He's got-
incantations.
He's got a lot of repentance to do, or whatever they call that.
Yes, texting and driving is another one.
Apologizing, I think. Apologizing to the father of the girl.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, anyway, I guess he's not coming in, Andrew. So you can't.
Oh,
have a
well.
talk.
That's okay. I think that's enough to go at.
What did,
Yeah, some-
what did you want to talk to him about, Andrew?
Phytogenetics.
Phylogenetics, huh? Okay.
He only knows about information and semantics.
I
Yeah,
know.
semantics.
That's why I want to
That's
talk to
all.
him about phylogenetics, educate him on it.
It's all
Uh-huh.
semantics. That's all it
Oh,
is.
John, I know more about you than I should know, unfortunately. Sometime it would be interesting for you to come in and tell me your whole conversion story.
I really don't want to know anything about you, to be honest, John.
Well, I don't know that phrase. Have you had a relationship with someone called Jack? Jack Squat? Is that what
Jack
you said?
Swat,
Oh.
yeah.
Jack. So that's who. Oh, that's why you're living in sin, John. You got a
That's why I'm-
relationship with Jack Squat. Oh.
Well, give my best to Jack anyway. Don't
I
crush the
thought-
car. And to give my best to Jack. I hope he's
I thought the Bible had something to say about that, doesn't it?
I don't think so. I think Jesus used to hang around with a lot of guys.
Yeah. Oh, well, maybe. Well, I think we've made it very entertaining for our audience, don't you think?
Well, that was fun. That was fun.
Yeah.
I almost hate to shoot it in the head now, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
Thank you, John, for gracing us with your presence.
Yep.
Isn't that another biblical term, gracing? Right?
Gracing, yeah.
Yeah, he graced us with his presence.
Yeah. Apparently he graced SFT with the C word the other day. I really want to link to that. So wait a minute. Holy shit. Where's this Chris? Chris Peacock doesn't have a wrench. Now he does. You got a wrench now. I'm giving you a wrench. Everybody has a wrench except John. Oh. Everybody has a wrench.
Congratulations on being an idiot. Okay, John. You seem to call everybody that. Thank God we're being graced with such intelligence on YouTube.
Yeah, when you're looking up from the position you're in, John, it all looks like idiots up there. But John, we're looking down on you.
Oh, that's good.
Just a quick question, John. What are your qualifications? By
Yeah.
the way, the person who's calling people idiots.
Yeah.
What qualifications?
He made a website.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. I wonder what his academic qualifications are in order to call people, random people that he doesn't know anything about. I should add, idiots.
Yeah.
This is the first wrench Chris Peacock has ever gotten.
Congratulations.
I am so proud to give you your first wrench. Wait a minute. Am I going to regret this?
He's so happy about it, though.
Why has no one else given him a wrench? That's what
I know.
wanna
What's
find.
the story behind that? That does raise some eyebrows, but still.
That does raise eyebrows. Eyebrows raised. What the hell was it? Oh shit! Dirk Gently. Did all you guys watch the Dirk Gently series?
I did. I don't know that I watched the whole thing.
Okay, you remember the eyebrows raised cop? You know, he's raising his eyebrows all the time. You remember that
I'll have
scene?
to go back and rewatch it.
Oh, it's fucking excellent. I had to watch the first season like 4 times, 5 times. I kept having other people watch it with me, and every time I watched it, it's like, okay, the timeline started to make more sense because the timeline was pretty twisted in that thing. The second season was awesome too. It's the Boogeyman. I don't think so.
Yeah.
LPP says he's interacted with everybody else. He doesn't know who I am. Fair enough. Could you just tell me what qualification Andrew's got, please? Then, if you happen to know what academic status everybody has, that would be interesting. If you could put that in the chat for me, thank you.
Somebody wanted to know if John has been at least to the seminary school, or I guess, or John hasn't even been to church in his whole adult life. So,
well, he's got a child out of wedlock, so he's been to seminary school.
Yeah, there you go.
Is somebody communicating with me by private chat? I don't know who the boogeyman is, but he's not getting in. Anyway, boogeyman in the back room. Boogeyman in the back room. Warning. No, I don't know who it is.
The boogeyman.
Danny.
That's I think that's what's his name? Goes by that.
Well, he's got the same image as Stinky Saint.
Yeah, that's it's not Stinky, it's Brett Keane. It's probably Brett Keane, I believe.
No, that ain't getting in here either. I think we're going to shoot it in the head, guys. We got strange people entering the back room, not identifying themselves properly. So what do you think? End the stream?
Sure.
It's up to you. You're the boss, man.
Yep.
Yes.
We're called.
Anyway, everybody go watch this. If you haven't watched this, you have got to watch this. It's just an incredible series. It got canceled for being too smart.
Was it just one season?
He says
two.
Oh,
2 seasons.
supposedly this is Smokey. He's saying it's Smokey.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Not on this channel.
Yeah, I don't think so. Not today, Smokey. We don't. Well, shit. I'm really compromised. I think I will let you in earlier in the stream if you want to come in, but we kind of want to end it today. So I'm waffling, but I want to talk to some friends. I want to talk to my counselor, my AA group, my grief support group, my family, and other friends before I let you in. But I think maybe next time, if you come in early.
Yeah, and what the hell would Smokey want to do in here? Like, what brings him here? Like,
he may want to talk about Maddox.
Yeah, apparently he dropped the C word. Oh my goodness! But anyway, I'd like to talk I'd like to talk to my lawyer first, anyway.
Yeah, I also have to talk to my attorney, Smokey, before I let you in. Yeah, God. Okay, somebody.
You linked to a show that you said got canceled for being too smart?
Yeah, Dirt Gently.
Where? In the private chat?
No, it's on Netflix.
Okay, what's it called?
It's it's sitting on the screen right now. Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency.
Oh, well, thanks.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, guys, we're gonna end.
All right.
Okay, you're the boss.
Let's see. What am I doing? Any idea what I'm doing?
I wonder that every day. Every day.
Anyway, goodbye, cruel world.
I'm laughing at
We had
Smokey.